Hi
Hi everyone.
everyone, welcome to Tiki Taka Chatter. I'm Lee Hurley alongside Michael Keegan and Frankie Bruno.
Hello.
This
Hello there,
week
everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
this week we're joined by football writer Ryan Baldy. Ryan, you
How's it
there?
going, guys? Yeah, everybody okay?
Yeah, all good, all good. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you.
Welcome to your
Thanks
first
for having me, guys.
episode.
Yeah, exciting.
Oh, we've got a treat in store.
Ryan, have you got your headphones in?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Okay, that's better. Cool. And
I haven't.
yes, sorry, Ryan. Hello, you there, Ryan?
I can hear me.
Cool. Okay. So you'll know some of Ryan's work. He's done some stuff for the 442 website, the Yahoo Sport UK, and he also does some work for a site for Busby Bays, which is a US-based kind of Premier League fan site that he does a lot of work on. So we'll send all the links to those in the Twitter feed and on social media, so you can check out the kind of stuff that Ryan's been doing. So how are things, Ryan? Everything good?
Yeah, it's ringing. Thanks. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Good. Well, we're happy to have you that can't even speak. Happy to have you on board.
One, two, three, Lee. One, two, three. Let's do it again.
just count to three, it'll be fine. So we'll start off this week with the reviews of the top games.
Yes.
So we'll start off with the Friday night football, I think it
The
was.
Manchester
Man
United
United,
versus
Southampton.
Southampton. Yes. What a game.
Yeah.
Again from Manchester United. Um,
What
All
do we
hail
think?
Zlatan.
do you know what? I wasn't actually right. I wasn't actually watching the game, and all I got was a notification on my phone saying Man United 1-0, and without even doubting it, I just said Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and what was it? Zlatan Ibrahimovic. What a player! 34 years old. I keep saying it every week. I don't care. He's great.
And let's not forget we had the Pogba debut as well.
Oh yes, the
Yeah.
Pogba. Yeah, you couldn't miss Pogba with that hairstyle.
What a performance as
Specifically
well.
for Man United as well.
Yeah, yeah. What did you think of the haircut, Ryan? You're a Man United fan.
It was pretty spectacular, mate. Not quite as spectacular as his first touch.
What,
And
giving away that free kick?
it just the edge shot he took when he first got the ball.
It was a terrible first touch.
Yeah.
You could tell the pressure was on.
I just need to go on. But no, he was immense. To be fair, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Exactly what United have been missing for the last
I think
well
we're I
since
think
Kingsley.
I think we're experiencing a bit of technical issues here with the microphone, guys. So we do apologise. Um, should we reinvite should we reinvite Ryan in again and see if it fixes the problem?
Or Ryan, just try and do it without your headset on. Just use it off the laptop, see if it's any better.
Or get further away from the mic. But, no, the Pogba game, or the
So
Pogba
yeah,
debut rather.
the Pogba debut was. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't see nothing spectacular from Pogba. I guess he's his first game back. He's been at the Euros. He's had a bit of a a rest. But yeah, I mean it was okay. I think we need to see more from him. But yeah, it was a good return. I
There's
think
plenty of
that
time for him.
I think the hairstyle was more outstanding than the performance personally.
There was one
I,
point
I
in
think the
the
thing is,
second half when he took a touch and he turned, and his second touch, it looked like the ball was miles out of his control, and it just took it past the other midfielder who was running to close him down.
Yeah,
And he's not a fast runner, but he covers ground very quickly.
he's long legged, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
it just strides. So
he
he's
gallops.
yeah, that's the word. He gallops.
it's very similar to like Yaya Toure, that kind of.
Yeah,
It's
Yaya
not
Toure, Patrick Vieira.
it's not rapid speed. It's more dynamic.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
I
got a
agree.
straight line. Once he's like a train. Once you're in a straight line, that's it. Once he builds up momentum.
Yeah,
Um,
You
but I
ain't
think the
catching
thing
him.
is, unless he literally scored on his debut, he was always going to get slated for being, not a great debut. He had to kind of hit the ground running, I think, so to speak. Otherwise, no one was ever going to say, you know what,
no, I think he
85
did
million or
alright.
wherever he was. I think he did all right. I think he did all right. But you know, you got a lot of haters out there who would say, "I didn't see him. I don't think he's worth 85 million. Not on our performance. All they were playing with Southampton." But
Yeah,
I think it was a solid. I think it was a solid debut.
it was a solid debut. Look, I'm going to go back with the whole 84 million. I don't think he was worth that much. I still don't think he's worth that much. But let's see what he offers. I mean, if he has a season that he had last year for Juventus, I don't think Man United fans are going to be too happy.
You didn't rate him last year.
Last year he didn't do very well. I mean, he didn't score many goals. He scored 6 goals in total, um, and he just wasn't a game changer at Juve. That was the problem, and I think not that Juve recognised that because I think they took the money and ran, but he wasn't. He wasn't the player that he was 2 years ago when Pirlo was there. And then as soon as Pirlo left, the responsibility was left at Pogba, and I don't think Pogba can deal with that kind of responsibility. I thought he could, but last year showed that he couldn't. Now, this year he's got Ibrahimovic to kind of take that pressure away from him, so he might have a bit more free, kind of a free role to perform better. So we'll see.
That Ibrahimovic and Pogba post-match interview deserves a mention as well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Didn't he take away a chance or something? Or
Yeah, in the
No,
what
last
was
minute,
it?
that
Pogba
was it.
spooned his shot, and
That's
Zlatan was
it.
free in the box.
Yeah, that's it.
Telling him that next time he's got a pass.
He told him twice, 3 times, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to stop telling him.
No, it was good.
Right, so Ryan's just sorting out his microphone, so he'll be back with us in a few minutes. So we'll bring him back in once he's ready. So what about Southampton? What do we think about Southampton?
What did we think? I did.
Same
I,
as
Sean's going to
last
have
season,
last
something a bit
season.
what
different?
I
What are we
was,
saying?
you just took the words right out of my mouth. I don't think they're the same team as last season under Ronald Koeman. I think they were a much better team last year. They looked more threatening. Teams were a little bit more afraid of Southampton, um, and yeah, they just looked flat. I mean, they had one shot on target throughout the whole game. Um, I just think, yeah, I just think they looked really flat.
Shane Long is not going to score double digits this year. I think
No.
he's got 10 Premier League goals once in a season. Um, I'd be impressed if he can do the job like Pella did last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they need to bring. Well, they've got Charlie Austin, who can't really play more than 2, 3 games at a time because of his injury record. But I'm very, very interested in Pierre Emile Is it Holberg?
This is my fantasy football secret weapon.
This guy is going to be. And I tweeted this, I think, last week. This is going to be the next guy that Southampton make a hell of a lot of money on when they resell
who
him eventually to whoever
who's
buys
this?
him. They basically bought him from
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, and he was supposed to be the next big thing, and I don't think he kind of got his break, but
He
he
did have
is.
a good break, but he fell out with Pep towards the end of last season.
Oh, is that what it
Um,
was?
so the club moved him on.
Yeah, basically. And from,
Hello.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Oh, sorry, I just thought you cut off.
no, go on. So, one to watch out for, basically.
so what
Yeah.
about the... Oh, go on, Frank.
No. Go on. Keep going.
I was going to move on to the Sunderland-Middlesbrough game. Middlesbrough surprising all their early season critics so far.
Well, this is what I wanted to talk about because it seems to be all the newly promoted teams are
Fine.
punching above their weight, doing well, picking up points. So it's going to be another one of those seasons, I think, where you're going to have a lot of teams down in the bottom three or in and amongst it. I think.
Yeah, I mean Middlesbrough, they're performing really well for me. I was particularly impressed with Negredo again this week. He didn't score, but set up both goals.
hmm
Um, and I just want to give a shout out to someone I know. Um, his name's Chris. And if you're hearing this, Chris, I remember you said that Negredo has passed it and that he won't do anything. Um, different story. I think you're going to tell me next time you see me, right? What do you think, guys?
That's early days yet.
What?
It's only
Yeah,
two
well,
games
come
in.
on. It's only 2 games in. He's probably going
Guys,
to get injured
guys,
or
guys,
walk into the
guys,
goalpost or
guys.
something.
Listen, you can only go on what he's done. He's played one game, scored a goal. Next game, set up two. If that was
Yeah.
if that was a player that was playing for Newcastle or Manchester United, you'd be singing his praises.
Let's just
Listen,
not forget that he only got 9 goals for City.
But then,
in a
yeah,
very,
but
very
hold
good team.
Okay, right. And this is what I was talking about with Chris. Now, Negredo was playing in a very, very good Man City side. Yes, I agree, but he wasn't the focal point. He wasn't the one that people looked out for. In this Middlesbrough team, he's the one that people are going to look out for. So he's
Do you
going to
think?
be that center of attention. He has to perform. In Man City, he didn't have to perform. There was other players that could perform around him.
Do you think he'll relish that?
I think he's already proven it.
Yeah, true.
So I guess, I mean, how many games do you want to see him perform? Half a season, a full season? He's already done it in 2 games. I guess you're right. Yeah, it's early days, but he's doing what he needs to do. And I think with Man City, he didn't really play that much. He
I
came
think he's
on
got a lot.
occasionally.
I think he's got a lot to prove. I think, and personally for him, because he went back to La Liga and he started
Yep.
scoring goals again, so he can do it. I don't dispute for 1 minute that he couldn't do it. He just needs the right team to kind of accentuate his abilities and how he plays and so on. And I think Karanka is the guy who's going to get the best out of him. But
Yeah.
you know, Middlesbrough, they bought a few players. I haven't been blown away by who they bought. They got that Fisher. I don't know if I pronounced his name right. The
Victor
winger
Fisher.
from that's it. He seems to be pretty decent.
Yeah,
You know, they got Victor Valdez. They bought in.
Yeah, you got
Again,
I forgot
Downing.
about him.
Downing's got a great cross in him as well. I know he's been missing for a while, but Downing's got a wicked left foot that can cross those balls into Negredo.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but guys,
If he gets
honestly,
the support, he should do all right. I
yeah,
think.
viewers, what do you think about Negredo? Please tweet us on Tiki Taka Chat. So that's at Tiki Taka Chat. What do you think of Negredo and how well he's going to do this season? I want to hear your thoughts. And if you don't have Twitter, which it'll be great if you do, but if you don't, we have a Facebook and it's Tiki Taka Chatter. So yeah, give us your views.
Hey guys,
Uh,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, much
Ryan,
better.
welcome
Much
back.
better.
Sorry about that, guys. I was
That's all right. No worries.
Listen,
gremlins in the system.
don't worry about it. You've come back with HD quality voice, so that's
Perfect.
fantastic.
I'm on my phone now, so it should be a lot better.
Good.
Is it an iPhone?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Round of applause. I love that. Round of applause. I love that. No Android.
Yeah, I did hear you guys chatting about the Middlesbrough game and
Yeah.
about Negredo. Yes, I share your views on it. To be honest, the jury's still a bit out, isn't it? He was brilliant at City for half a season, and he went completely missing in January.
Yeah, he did.
Last season in Valencia, I watched quite a bit of Valencia last season, and he was really frustrating. He was pretty much single-handedly got Gary Neville the sack for the amount of open goals he missed. But then on the other hand, he turned around and banged one in from
Yeah.
another time. So he's just one of those frustrating players who you know there's a player in there. It's just about
Just
trying to
getting the
coax that out of him.
consistency.
That's it. So yeah, he's got a lot to prove. You can definitely do it. He showed that before, but whether Crank is going to get the best out of him, I mean, you just got to wait and see. Because
Yeah.
it's got to play the long game with him. Because like we saw last time, he had a great first half of the season, but if he goes missing at the business end, then he's not going to be much use to Middlesbrough. Because I imagine they're going to be sort of battling down the bottom end of the league.
Yeah,
And that's the thing as well, is that, you know, when he was at Man City, he could hide because he was in a very good team.
Yeah.
Whereas Middlesbrough, if they struggle, the focal point of all anger will be towards him and not performing, not scoring the goals and so on. So let's see how he gets on, and you know, we wish him the best. Now Sunderland, on the other hand, to me it seems same old, same old. They just don't learn.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I think they'd have been a lot better off if Sam had stayed at the start of the season.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, they were thought, right, we finished very well. I mean, their form at the end of last season was amazing. If they had started with that form, I think they would have been somewhere like floating around the Europa League places.
Yeah.
With that kind of form they were in. But they thought, right, next season we'll push on, we'll buy some players, we've got Sam in, and then their whole world gets turned upside down.
It's almost a psychological thing with those guys now as well, isn't it? It's they almost kind of expect to be in that relegation battle. So I think there's a record of them not winning in the first few weeks of the season, going back years now. It's almost like they sort of resign themselves to a relegation battle at the start of the season and don't really sort of kick in, decide to drag themselves out of it until about March or April. So they really need to get over that hump.
Typically a yo-yo club.
Well,
forever down and up.
Well, they don't seem to get relegated a lot. They seem to always be in a relegation fight, and somehow, as Ryan said, they somehow stay up. I mean, they had Martin O'Neill, they had Di Canio, they had Gus Poyet.
Yeah.
It's
Dick Advocaat.
Roundabout of managers. Dick Advocaat as well. They can't find the perfect guy, and they thought they had it in Sam, but obviously.
But this is what kind of gets me is what has happened to David Moyes since he left Everton. He's just going from one bad season to another, and he's just proven it again with Sunderland.
Oh no, again, we're only 2 games in. He's got plenty of time left to solve it.
2 games in, yeah. No, I know. Don't get me wrong. We've got plenty of games to go, but it's just when you look at the season he had at Manchester United, then you look at what he'd done in Real Sociedad, and now you're looking at it from a Sunderland point of view. Okay, second game in, it's just constantly, it's where did it go wrong? Because in Everton, he was having great seasons.
Never won anything though.
Never won anything, no. But with Everton, are you gonna win something? Maybe, yeah, the FA Cup or something like that. But
he didn't even win that.
No, I know. No, I get that. But he made Everton the team. I think personally, he made Everton the team they are.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He did a similar job to Wenger at Arsenal.
Which is what though?
He's established them as a top flight club.
Yeah, but then you put him in the same category as West Brom.
I wouldn't say West Brom are that established as Everton or.
Well, they haven't been in the relegation fight for quite a few seasons now.
Okay, but you would say Everton now are a top 8 club in the league.
Not last season.
Okay, but they're there or thereabouts, and they weren't there or thereabouts before. Moyes.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing he brought to them is that you never really worried about them going down.
Yeah,
which wasn't always the case before. There was nothing. He hasn't got a spectacular bone in his body, and he never will. And that's pretty much exactly why he wasn't suited for United. But you know what you get with Moyes. He brought a very distinctive style to Everton. He brought them consistency over the long haul. I know they had up and down seasons. There's the one where they finished 4th, and the next season they finished something like 16th or 15th. But overall, over the course of his 10 years there, he did bring them a degree of stability. Whether that counts for much on his CV, I don't know. But at Sunderland now, he's really got it all to prove again after how catastrophically bad it went for him at United,
massively.
Didn't go great for him at Real Sociedad either. So it's really big, a big job for him now.
Yeah, and I wonder if it has a psychological effect on the players as well. When you hear someone like David Moyes coming in as a coach. And you think to yourself, right, he kind of failed Man United, he's failed Real Sociedad. I wonder what the Sunderland players are thinking when Moyes came into that changing room. It's kind of like, not the lack of respect for him, but that mentality of what's he going to do to us kind of thing. I don't know. Psychologically, as a player, yes, you're fighting to stay up and win games, but you rely a lot on the manager in terms of getting that self-esteem and getting that confidence. And I just think to myself, what has it done to the players now when Moyes gets in? I think it's made his job 10 times harder now, every time he steps into a club.
Well, he managed to persuade the United players to come with him.
Sorry, say that again, Mike?
Januzaj, he's persuaded to go to Sunderland with him, and Paddy McNair and Donald Love. They all up sticks out of United, so they can't think too badly of him.
Yeah, but then Januzaj, was he going to get an opportunity at Man United?
No, probably not.
I think with Moyes as well, he's still got a certain amount of credit within the game. The fact that he's still mentioned before he got the Sunderland job, he was mentioned in connection with any sort of Premier League job for any sort of mid-table to lower club who was sacking the manager. But it's just when he gets there, and I think the language he uses, I think he underestimates just how powerful those press conferences can be.
Yeah, guys like his comments today admitting that after 2 games, Sunderland are in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
That's not what the fans want to hear.
No, even
not
though
one
it's
bit.
true, we all know it's true. But you're trying to motivate your players. You don't always have to be completely realistic with when you're trying to motivate guys. You want to get them to aspire into to shoot for the stars and maybe land on the moon, kind of thing. So
Exactly.
to use that language to suggest they're going to be in a relegation fight, or when he was at United saying we need to aspire to be like City, the things he was saying factually weren't incorrect. United could have done with playing a bit more like Man City back then, but that's just one of the worst PR moves you can make.
It's not what people wanted to hear.
It's not what the fans or the players need to hear.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
So
moving on to Hull City versus Swansea. Hull City. Guys, what do you think? So Hull City's started off well.
I don't know how we can explain that.
Keegan and I were having this conversation, and Keegan showed me this tweet of the club's pre-season training camp,
and
they only had, was it 8 players?
Yeah, 9 outfield players.
That was it, 9 outfield players, and we were thinking, this is ridiculous. This is a team that's in the Premier League and they've only got 9 players.
And they still only have 13 fit, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And they've got 6 points. Did they win their first game?
Yeah, beat the champions. Yeah, beat the champions.
That's it, exactly. 6 points. So yeah, I mean, Phelan's doing a good job. I think they should give him the job.
Yeah,
he's probably earned it now.
No one else really wants it, from the sounds of things. But you could give him the job. He's got pedigree. He's he's obviously coached under Alex Ferguson. He did a bit of Fulham, didn't he? When they had about 10,000 punches there.
René Moulenstein.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you're right.
No, I don't know where Mike Phelan went after he left United. I'm glad for him though.
Yeah, I think they should give him the job. I know they interviewed Gianfranco Zola for it, and his credentials really any better than Phelan's.
No,
he's doing a great job as it is. So I think, judging by his personality and the way he comes across in his post-match interviews and stuff, he's going to be Mr. Stability, Mr. Reliability for them. So he's been around the block. I know he's never had
that's what they need,
a number one spot before. Exactly.
Like that.
With all the chaos around the club, if anything, Hull could do with a guy like David Moyes to sort of just settle the ship a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, give him the job, definitely.
And Swansea, decent, okay team. They've got a decent squad. They're not going to blow you away with the talent that they have available to them. But the manager seems to have kind of got the stability there. They're a solid outfit. You know what you're going to get from them.
They've lost 2 on the bounce though.
But they had a very.
They need a couple of players.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think they need a couple of players.
I think Guidelin's a really good coach. I really enjoyed his Udinese team. He got the best out of Alexis Sanchez back in the day. Got Udinese into the Champions League. He's definitely a quality coach. You can see the difference he made with them last season. He brought in Alberto Poloski as well, who's a bit of a football manager legend, and he did really well for him. But he's gone again now, isn't he? So they're a couple of players short for sure.
I agree. I think Guidolin is a fantastic coach. I saw him obviously watching Serie A a lot, and Udinese were not no slouch team. They were really impressive. Guidolin plays exciting football. I know Swansea haven't started very well, but I mean they've got quite a few decent players. I mean nothing to shout home about, but they did sign Llorente.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's one to shout home about.
And that's a decent signing for Swansea. He played very well at Juventus when he was at Juventus.
He needs delivery, though, I think.
He does. That's
Definitely.
exactly what I was going to say, is that he definitely needs delivery. Without any crosses, he ain't going to get many goals because he's one to get on the end of things. But, like I said, they've got quite a few decent players that can do that if they get their game right, personally. But they just need to do it. And Guidolin I think Guidolin can do it. Routledge, Routledge is one of those players that he's got better over time. He's quick. He's got a decent delivery. Sigurdsson again got great pass on him. So I don't.
Big fan of Sigurdsson.
Yeah,
quality player. Good
player.
player.
I can't see why Sigurdsson can't set up Llorente with a few one-on-ones and with Wayne Routledge crossing that ball in. So we'll just have
They
to.
And
were linked
they lost their captain as well. Ashley
What's that?
Williams going to Everton.
Yeah, that's a big blow. Yeah.
That's a massive blow.
And Ayu's gone as well, hasn't he? For
Yeah.
got 20 million for Ayu though, so there should be money in the coffers for them. I know they were linked with Nasser Chadli from Spurs, and that wouldn't be a bad move for them. To face a guy who can get out wide and get crosses in for Llorente.
Yeah. And I think that's when because Chadley will play more on the left-hand side, which I think then they'll switch Routledge back on the right, maybe.
Yeah, on his natural side.
Routledge, he has got better as he's got older.
Yeah, Routledge.
He's matured though.
I actually went to school with Routledge. He was always a really good player in terms of speed. He had good ability. I don't know where it went wrong with the whole Crystal Palace, and then I think he went to Portsmouth.
I think it was an attitude thing. I think it was a lack of maturity. He's played for a lot of clubs.
He has played. He played for Tottenham. He played for Portsmouth. He played for
Newcastle,
Villa, Crystal Palace. So yeah, he's played for a lot of clubs, but he definitely has matured as he's got older. And we're forgetting he's 29 years old. No, actually 30 years old, because he was a year older than me. So 30, 31. No, I think he's got better with age, and I think he's got a good cross on him. But I don't know why they play him on the left-hand side, because I think he's a right-footed player.
Yeah, he is right-footed.
So I don't know why they put him on the left, but I guess if they get Chadley, it'd be a good switch.
Yeah, I mean, now that they've got Llorente up there as a focal point, the whole inverted winger thing is going to be counterproductive. So you just with him in the box, you just want to get to the byline, bang a crossover, let him contest it. So yeah, maybe switching Routledge back over to the right and bringing somebody in on the left would be a really good move.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Got a few days to the transfer deadline day, so let's see what happens. Yeah. And then lastly, Burnley Liverpool. I don't think anyone was expecting this one.
Burnley played fantastic. Is it their second win on the bounce now?
No, it's their first win. They lost last week.
Win? That's it. They lost last week, but still against Liverpool, who played really well against Arsenal. Okay, again, defense was shocking, but Burnley.
Shall I read you some stats from that game? Just to paint the picture, right? So possession, 80% to 80% to 20% Burnley. Touches of the ball, Liverpool 1,032, Burnley 380. Passes, 848 for Liverpool, 210 for Burnley. 12 corners for Liverpool, 1 for Burnley. And yet, Burnley went out resounding winners. I mean, if that doesn't tell you all about the Premier League, I don't know what will.
Wow.
It's only the goals that matter, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
Did you mention how many shots Liverpool had, Lee?
It wasn't actually. They didn't create that many. Well, they had 26 shots, only 5 on target.
That's correct.
And shots on target for Burnley, 2 goals.
Yeah.
You know?
And their shot accuracy was 66.7%, where Liverpool's was 19.2. I think I know what I'll be working on in training this week.
Yeah.
I found a really good tweet. Someone tweeted in, and it's basically Liverpool have 80% possession against Burnley and lose. Remember, in a game of fetch, the dog has most of the possession, but is not in control. That's a great quote.
Those stats reminded me a lot of the Champions League semi-final between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid last year. It was almost, I think it was about, Atletico had about 22% of possession or something like that, and it was the same thing again. Barcelona had 70% possession. They were in the final third for however many minutes, and all of these stats, they were reeling off. But Atletico were the ones who were really dictating the game to them by their low block, their low block pressing, and the way they were countering with Torres.
A lot of times it was like they didn't want the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about passes, Lee, I don't know if you mentioned that stat, but total passes, I'm shocked. I didn't even know this was even a stat in this game. But Burnley, 210 passes. Liverpool, 848.
Wow.
Yeah. As we've just said, though, doesn't mean anything. I mean, Leicester proved that last season.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I mean, the model's there, isn't it, for the underdog teams now? Leicester sort of wrote the playbook on it, and to a certain degree, Atletico Madrid have done the same thing in Europe, and Villarreal did it last season too in the Europa League.
Are we saying to put a bet on Burnley to win the league?
Definitely. Have you not already done that?
I'm
No.
going to do that right now.
I put my tenner on Hull.
I trust you, Ryan, with your. So I'll do that immediately.
So what do we think? Do we think it's a blip from Liverpool, or do we think that's literally going to be the story of their season? They'll
Nah.
win
That's the story of their
convincingly,
season.
and then
Yeah.
they'll drop points as easily as that.
It was a
think-
very Liverpool result, I thought, to be honest.
Yeah, it
Do you know
was.
what? It's funny, the two Man United fans really sticking by each
Any
other.
chance for it, dig.
No, I think it is a blip from Liverpool. I think they showed that they had a really good game against Arsenal, and this week they played really, really well. Yes, we've established that goals is what win you games, but they did play very, very well, and I can't see them losing games if they continuously play like this. I think they need someone scoring goals up front. I don't think they have it yet.
Benteke.
Well, yeah, he's gone to Crystal Palace. So they need goals. I think they need that signing. I think if they
Yeah.
have someone that is an out-and-out striker that will give them 20 to 25 goals a season, I think they could be serious threats in the league.
Yeah, they need Sturridge, but with a pair of legs that work.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I like
Pretty
it.
much.
They need Sturridge with a pair of legs. That's what they need.
Any agents out there who has a player with that kind of criteria?
Any
Feel for your team.
agent that has a player with legs, please inform Liverpool.
Speak to Klopp.
Going over the Liverpool game, it's easy to overlook Sean Dyche as well. Fair play to Burnley for sticking with him after they went down. Straight back
Yeah.
up. Now,
Sorry, Mike, you might need to repeat that again. That cut out.
with Sean Dyche and the job he's done,
Yeah.
and Burnley as well, they stuck by him after.
He's made that point himself as well, hasn't he? He's doing the whole sort of Sam Allardyce thing of saying if I was a foreign manager, I'd have been linked with all these jobs. But I mean, to a degree, he's right. He's done an excellent job there, bringing them back up. The budget they've been working with as well is next to nothing. Even still, with up in the Premier League now, they've hardly spent anything this season. Again, have they compared to some of the other teams around them who are
managed
going
to
to be
get-
in the same situation?
They managed to get Stephen Defoe though, who's a great signing.
Yeah, former United target. wasn't
Another football manager legend.
he? Yeah.
What a player.
But what was I going to say to you? They touted him the Ginger Mourinho, didn't they? A couple of seasons ago.
Oh yeah, that's what Burnley fans call him.
Yeah.
I
But
just
yeah,
love
I
his
mean,
voice.
Oh, it's
well,
painful.
that was my point. How annoying is his voice when you hear him on Match of the Day at 10:30 at night? It's awful.
I get a sore throat just listening to him.
Yeah, I have to clear my throat. It's awful. It's like he's talking through, like a voice changer. You know, when you put it to your neck, it kind of sound to it. Sounds like a razor.
Guys, we've got to move on because we've been talking about this a bit too long, haven't we?
No, that's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
But I think Burnley. I hope they'll be all right because it's good for it. They're a good story. A very small town. Picking points up against the giants of Liverpool. Hope they do well. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling a game. Anyone else feeling having a bit of a game?
Yeah.
I feel like playing a game as well. I'm really excited about this.
I
I feel like doing the whole show with that voice.
It's really
That might be
disturbing.
good,
It sounds like we've been
Yeah.
hacked. So basically, we flipped a coin earlier to see who was going to go up against Ryan in today's game. Now, Frank won the toss, so he got to choose whether to nominate himself or nominate Keegan. He's now
Hello.
nominated Keegan officially.
I have indeed.
So it will be Keegan against Ryan. Now, the first game, I've explained to the guys, but I'll explain to you guys listening. So the first game is who did what. Now, the idea of the game is you've got 3 scenarios, 3 players, and each of our guests have to choose which player goes with which scenario. So, Keegan, you're up first.
Okay.
So the 3 players you've got are Shaka Hislop, Alex Song, and Jordi Alba.
Okay.
Now, 3 scenarios are: one of these players doesn't have a driver's license and has their dad drive them to training.
Okay.
Yeah, this is no word of a lie. This is true. Second one has a degree in mechanical engineering and did an internship at NASA. And the third one, again, this is no lie. This person has 27 siblings.
What?
Wow.
How many?
27 siblings. 17 sisters and 10 brothers.
Wow.
Impressive.
Keegan, go. Who do you think?
Was it Shaka Hislop, Jordi Albert, and
Alex Song.
Right.
oh,
Talk us through your thought process so we can, speculate.
I get the feeling Shaka Hislop is going to be the NASA mechanical engineering guy.
Okay.
Because Jordi Alba's had a football upbringing, and I don't imagine there's much scope for Alex Song to learn about mechanical engineering in Cameroon.
It can happen. It could happen.
It could happen. So, what were my other options? Siblings, NASA, and
No driver's license.
I reckon the no driver's license is Alba.
Okay. And
And
you
then
sticking
that
with Shaka
leaves,
Hislop at NASA?
yeah, so that leaves Alex Song for 17 siblings.
Jeez.
Okay.
It's not
All right, let's give
17.
a
Was it
rundown through.
27?
27. So 17 sisters and
Christ.
10 brothers. That is an amazing Christmas. That's what I'm saying.
That is yeah.
That's one big turkey.
That is.
All right, so let's run this down. So, doesn't have a driver's license is Jordi Alba.
Yeah.
Ding!
Well done,
Has a
Mike.
degree in medical engineering and interned at NASA, Shaka Hislop,
Yes.
which
Oi.
means 27
Alex Song's
siblings.
parents got
Alex
busy.
Song.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go,
Tough to-
3 out of 3. Ryan, no pressure.
Wow, that was
I'm ready.
impressive. I want to be at their house for Christmas now.
There's a picture actually with him and all his siblings, so check it out. Any of you guys watching, Google Alex Song siblings. Great picture. I don't know how they fit them all in, but it's great. Right, so Ryan, you're up next. So 3 to beat. You gotta get 3 to go on and try and beat Keegan in the next game. So no pressure. Here we go.
Okay.
So your 3 players are Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Arsene Wenger, technically not a player but a manager, but doesn't matter, and Frank Lampard. Now, the 3 scenarios. One of these players or managers has an asteroid named after them.
Okay.
One of these people has an IQ of over 150. And one of them has a burger named after them.
Lampard.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
So hold on,
Um,
can you repeat that again? Sorry, Ryan, it just cut out. What did you say?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's
we
better.
can hear you now.
Yeah, the asteroid. I'll go for Zlatan.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Yeah, I'm gonna say there's a Fat Frank burger somewhere. So I'll go for Lampard with the burger, and I'll go for Wenger with the IQ.
Yeah, it makes
Okay.
sense for Arsenal with the IQ.
All right.
Yeah, but I can
Yeah,
imagine a burger. Right, I don't know the answer to these questions, but I can just imagine Zlatan having a burger called the Zlatan. That would be a burger that I would have.
I can imagine Zlatan being the answer to all 3. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
is this a trick
Oh, yeah.
question? Is that what you're doing?
No,
No.
let's
there's
go.
One
Let's go for
per
it, Lee.
option. All right. So Ryan, so just lock in your answers. What are you going for?
Zlatan has got an asteroid named after him.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger has got an IQ which does not apply to the transfer market. And there is a Fat Frank Lampard burger somewhere in the world.
Okay. All right. You ready for this? Zlatan Ibrahimovic has a burger named after him, and it is called
I knew
the
it.
Zlatan.
I knew it. I
You
could
can
just
get
picture it.
You can get it in Paris. It was named after him by a restaurant he frequently visits when it was at Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh mate, I knew it. I could just hear it.
An asteroid was named after Arsene Wenger,
Oh,
No way.
which means that Frank Lampard has an IQ of over 150.
Wow.
No
Now, never let that on.
way.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, he kept that one quiet, but that's okay because you can pull it all back in the next game, Ryan. Right? This is your chance now. You've got to
Okay,
bring this
cool.
back now. All right. So the next game is who did they play for? So the Premier League has been graced with a number of foreign exports that have come in and graced the Premier League with their skills and their suave. So you need to say which club did each of these players join first in the Premier League? So who is their first Premier League club? Yeah.
Okay.
So Ryan, you go first. So and then we'll swap each player one after the other. So
Cool.
you'll do the first one, Keegan does the next one, and so on. So Fabrizio Ravanelli, who was his first club?
Middlesbrough.
Well done.
Ooh, thank God I didn't
Keegan.
get that one. I just said Derby.
That was that Italian blood that came out there, Ryan. I could feel it. I was so impressed.
Passion.
That was passion.
Right, so Keegan, Tony Yeboah.
Leeds.
Well done.
It was
Right.
21 years ago the other day that he scored that goal.
That banger against Liverpool.
No, the other banger against, was it Wimbledon or someone? Yeah.
Oh, great goals. Great. I don't remember him scoring any other goal apart from those two, but great player. Okay, Ryan, Helder Postiga.
Spurs.
Yep, well done.
Ooh.
Keegan, I've got a good one for you here. Classic. Muzzy Is It.
Leicester.
Oh, yeah.
What a great name, Muzzy Is It.
He was a
Can't
wicked
write
player.
that. He was a great player. Great player. Okay, so Ryan, Pascal Sigon.
Arsenal.
Well done. Nice. All right, Keegan, last one for you. El Hadj Diouf.
Liverpool?
Yeah, well done. Well done. Well done, guys. Got them all right.
Oh my God.
In fairness, no, I don't think anyone would have predicted Frank Lampard having an IQ over 150.
No.
Never. No, do you know what? I wouldn't have. And I probably would have said that it was the burger for Lampard as well because of the whole Fat Frank. But
Yeah.
it just.
He's got a head like a burger as well.
What's that?
He's got a head like a burger as well.
He has, yeah. But the thing is, I just thought the Zlatan just sounds like a burger. It sounds like a juicy burger. And I thought.
You got to Google this thing. This thing is a beast, which doesn't surprise you because it is Zlatan.
Wow. Do you know what, guys? I think we're going to tweet. We're going to tweet you guys. Not now, but later on tonight or probably tomorrow. We're going to tweet you the 27 siblings of Alex Song, and we'll also tweet the Zlatan burger. So you
There's
lot can
Zlatan
have a
burger
look.
as well, so you can see it.
Yeah.
Right, guys, well done. Good show. Good show. With the quiz. So, next bit, we're going to talk about our top topic of the week.
Yes.
So, Frank, do you want to introduce it?
Yes. So the top topic of the week is basically: do we play clubs? We're talking about here clubs. Do we play for now and spend big money, or do we invest in the youth and go for the long term? And I think this is a big debate that everyone has amongst teams and clubs around the world, not even just in the Premier League. We're talking about Spain and Italy and France. So yeah, so what do you think, guys? So we'll start with Ryan.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the ideal is to do both. Really, I guess is the cop out way of answering it. But that's kind of what Man City have tried to do, isn't it? Obviously, when they were first taken over, they were spending lavish money on all these big name stars, but at the same time, behind the scenes, they were putting a lot of infrastructure in and overhauling all their youth departments and all the facilities there. And apparently now their facilities are second to none. They're attracting some of the best young youngsters from the continent and from at home. And I imagine Kelechi Iheanacho is probably going to be the first of many that we'll see coming through.
Yeah.
I know they let Denis Suarez slip through their fingers, but there'll be more like that coming through eventually. So, yeah, the ideal is to do both. I think in the current climate that we live in now, everybody wants their club to be spending crazy amounts of money on transfers and on players. So I think when you get to the top end of the game, the spending's not going to go backwards now. It's on an upwards trajectory, and it's not going to change. So I think
Yeah.
that might take priority for a while. Maybe it will settle down at some point, but I think the spending is going to be what's grabbing the headlines for a good while to come.
Yeah, the thing is,
Yeah.
I think with this whole situation, it's a bit of a catch-22 because, like you said, you want a bit of both, but nowadays owners don't give or they don't allow enough time for managers to settle in and kind of find these youth players. If you don't perform on time, they'll sack you. There's
Yeah.
very, very few clubs out there that will allow you that time. Tottenham being one of them, uh, Southampton to a certain degree, they've done really well. But yet, there's the other side to it that owners will sack you straight away if you're spending that kind of money and you're not performing. So it's like I said, it's a bit of a catch-22, which is it's really difficult for a manager nowadays.
It's a good
Keane,
time
what do you
to
think?
well, again, the ideal is both, but you could look at someone like Barcelona with La Masia and how much emphasis is on that setup compared to Perez at Real Madrid in his Galactico approach.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, it's hard to say which one is better or worse. I don't think you can hold the Barcelona team of the last few years up as a barometer because it was a once in a lifetime team.
Yeah, but
Same with Class
then
92.
the it's interesting now because they seem to have completely swapped. So you think now Barcelona are buying people like Neymar, Arda Turan,
Suarez.
uh, Suarez, and so on, where you've got Real Madrid who've barely spent any money this summer, and you've got a lot of their young players coming through. So it's interesting how the dynamic has kind of changed,
Yeah,
and obviously Real Madrid, don't get me wrong, they've spent money in previous seasons. They've bought people like Bale, obviously Ronaldo years before that. They bought literally the best midfielders in European football all in one go. They don't even have enough room to play them all. But it's
yeah,
interesting now that you've got Zidane, very similar again to Barcelona, where Zidane was the Castilla head coach, trained a lot of these young players, and is now bringing them through, which is basically the same thing as what Guardiola did when he was at Barcelona.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, and Madrid as well. Back in like the early 2000s, they tried to marry the two. They had the whole Zidane's and Pavon's policy where they were bringing in a Galactico every season, but at the same time they wanted to bring a young player through from the Castilla and promote him to the first team. And I don't even know if you guys remember Francisco Pavon, the centre back who had his
Oh
5 minutes
yeah.
of fame. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole policy really fell flat. I think the main reason being was that Madrid were willing to invest heavily in the recruitment side of things for the big Galacticos, and they were just kind of hoping that these equivalent players would come through from the Castilla and from their youth systems rather than actually spending the time to make it happen. So yeah, that policy fell flat on its backside. But yeah, and like what you were saying about that Guardiola's Barcelona side, they were really the exception rather than the rule. You can't rely on having
no,
that kind of crop of young players coming through. Same with the class of '92 at Man United. United got this great tradition of bringing through young players, but in the last probably decade and a half, you can probably count on one hand the amount of academy products have actually made a real impact and held their place in the team rather than just come in for their 5 minutes of fame and
yeah,
be sold to Sunderland. So yeah, it's a tricky one to try and gauge, and I think a lot of it comes down to what the owner wants. Because obviously the City owner came in and he wanted to do it both ways. He wanted to bring through the young players as much as anything because the business plan starts to sustain itself if you can bring these young players through. You're not spending the money on
yeah,
big
Exactly.
big names. You can sell them on like Chelsea do. Chelsea have done the same thing too, and they use it rather than bring players into their first team to sell them on
Well,
to
look.
turn a profit.
Well, look. Which is a good. You've kind of brought me on to my next question, which is kind of like, if you were an owner, and this goes to all three of you. If you were an owner, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to give the long kind of term finding youth, or would you prefer the big money spending and win titles? Now you have to choose one, um, because unfortunately most teams or the majority of teams, like I said, won't allow the time for youth. And some other teams, you spend money and they'll sack you if you don't perform. So if you had to choose one, which would it be? Mike, we'll start with you.
I'd go with the youth.
You'd
I
go
like
with the
the
youth.
romanticism of it.
Okay. Ryan, what would
Um,
you go for?
Um, Again, I might be picking the middle ground here, but what I do, I'd try and get some kind of unified approach and get a guy like Monchi in or some kind of director of sport who can
yeah,
oversee the whole process. So whether your manager's any good or not, you don't have to stick by a guy that you might not believe in so much. But there's that sort of that overriding policy that runs through the whole club. Southampton do it too. You know, they've got the best recruitment department in the country. It doesn't matter that they turn over players every year and they turn over the manager every other year. There's that consistency of organisation. So I think as an owner, that's probably what you want to aspire to, is get that so that you can have that youth policy, and maybe you're recruiting young players too. And it doesn't really matter so much whether you can bring in your managers to try and bring short-term success if that's what you want to go for, and not have to worry about what happens if they leave or what happens if we have to sell a player.
Okay. Lee?
Yeah. For me, I think owners now are more concerned with looking over their shoulders than looking forward. I think obviously you've got your top teams in the league, you've got your top six, seven, let's say, and all the other teams are just saying we just need to stay up because with the TV money that's going around now, we need. So I think the minimum criteria for a team is to, as long as you stay up, something a philosophy like a Southampton or a Sevilla or a Porto to bring in either cheap players or young players, develop them, have an identity. For me, that is the way forward. And what I would do is I would bring in a manager that represents the kind of football I want to play.
Yep.
And as Ryan said, you get a director of football who can oversee the project, so essentially like a project manager in a building construction, and you marry the two together. And that way you literally have a template, a blueprint of how you want that team to be run. So then, you bring player X through the youth academy and he's the long-term successor to your current centre back. Then you do it again for your right back, your left midfielder, your striker, and it's
A
literally
pipeline,
just an
basically.
ongoing process. You look at Southampton when they sell the player, i.e., someone like Luke Shaw, for example, they already had a make weight replacement ready to go. They think about everything. Nothing is rushed. Everything is done precisely as they want it. Everything's done on their terms. You never heard of Southampton selling a player and going, I could have got more for him. They always get value for money. Even when they sold Ricky Lambert for 4 million or whatever it was in the end to Liverpool, they still got value for money for him because
yeah,
they
he was
got him
like
for barely
33.
anything. Yeah. So the
Um,
guys negotiating those deals are, as Ryan said, they've got it perfect, perfect setup there.
that's all right
Yeah.
when it is
Well,
the case, but that doesn't always work in England. A lot of managers are resistant to that sort of overseeing role that a director of football might have. They
Yeah,
prefer
did you
to have an
guys see
informal
the
role.
story that was? I'm not sure which paper it was. That I think it might have been the Telegraph. It was about Fulham, where the Fulham manager wanted to bring in Andreas Pereira on loan from Man United. He'd had a
Yeah.
recommendation from Mourinho, but they've got a head of recruitment there who has ultimate, like the final say on all transfers, and he vetoed it, and it caused a bit of a fallout. And
Mm,
yeah, they're trying to go with the Moneyball approach and have a guy who looks at all the stats and the figures. And apparently, I don't remember their head of recruitment's name, but he found that Pereira's stats, for whatever reason, didn't match up with what the profile of the player they were looking for, and he put the kibosh in the deal. And yeah, it's caused a big kickoff. So, like you say, I don't think the that whole system, I don't think most clubs and most managers are receptive to it over here just yet. Whereas on the
mm.
continent, it's kind of just accepted as being the norm now. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tricky one.
If anyone
yeah.
wants
Well,
some
y
live updates as well, Tyler Blackett has just gone to Reading.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fair enough to
I
him.
can
wow.
I can see Rashford being loaned out as well
No,
before
he's
the
getting minutes
transfer
this year.
deadline. I
Well,
can't see it happening.
viewers,
Mourinho and his yeah. Go on. Sorry, Frank.
sorry, I was just going to go back to the original question. I just wanted the viewers to input on that. So, viewers, just to remind you what the topic was, the top topic, it was, do we play for now and spend the money, or invest in youth and go for the long term? So again, please, viewers, tweet us at Tiki Taka Chat. I want to hear your views on that, and you can also Facebook us on our Facebook page with Tiki Taka Chatter. Please send them through because we want to hear what you think.
Going back to the same topic again,
Yeah.
Arsenal have apparently been quoted £25 million for Johnny Evans. Now, would you rather pay that or just carry on playing Rob Holding at centre back?
I think go for what you've got.
Question.
He hasn't. He's
I
done
think-
quite well, Holding.
Yeah, they were quoted at the same kind of price, I think, for Shkodran and Mustafi as well, weren't they? So I think for 25, 30 million, then you go for it. But like we were saying earlier, the way the market is these days, it's kind of crazy with a player. I mean, Johnny Evans has got a certain pedigree. He's won a lot of things with United, but he's not the sort of player who's going to come into Arsenal and really make a huge difference to them. So
No.
maybe when you're talking about spending 25 million on a guy like that, maybe you are better with sticking with what you've got with Holding or with Chambers.
It is an awful lot of money for.
I think the thing with Johnny Evans is as well is he's playing in a team, West Brom, where he can be protected because they're a defensive team. So his limitations are not exposed. If you put him in an attacking team, he can get isolated. And I think that's why he now looks a lot better than what he actually is.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's a fair point.
I've never rated him personally, but I can see how he would be effective in a Tony Pulis team rather than in an Arsene Wenger team who generally are not very good defensively. They had a very good season last season defensively, but generally they get exposed, and I think he would get exposed in that team.
I think Evans does so well at West Brom because they've got a very prescribed style of defend, and Pulis will tell him exactly who he's marking or exactly what zone he's covering. He'll be told
He'll
where to
spoon
distribute the
feed
ball
him.
to. Exactly. But at Arsenal, there's going to be a lot more relying on his instincts. There's going to be things that are happening off the cuff, like you say, when the team's breaking on them. He's got to make those split-second decisions, and those were always his downfall at United.
Yeah.
He'd leave his foot in where it shouldn't have been, or he'll make the wrong. He'll go and press the ball when he should have been hanging back, or that kind of thing. But whereas at West Brom, like I said, they've got a very prescribed style. Pulis knows exactly how he wants his guys to play, and I think if you're giving him those real strict instructions, it can look like a good player. But yeah, I think you're right. He's not a great suit for Arsenal.
Yeah, I'd probably be keeping my money, I think. Let Holding develop.
Yeah.
And you've got to give Chambers a game as well. He needs to have some game time to develop as well.
I was surprised that he was benched in favour of Holding at the weekend, actually. I thought Chambers would have played as the more senior one.
Yeah, he's got to kick on soon, hasn't he? He's getting to that point now.
But he made that mistake against Liverpool, didn't he, in the first game, Chambers? Didn't he get absolutely done by Mane? Him and Nacho Monreal.
Pure pace, though.
I don't justify him being sub for that, but I think that's maybe what Arsene Wenger may have seen. Just to add, guys, I've tweeted the Zlatan burger on the Twitter page, and I'm just going to do the Alex Song siblings one. So everyone watching, if you want to check that out, we say what we mean and we mean what we say. It's a legit thing.
Just quick update, guys. I've just had reports that Chelsea went in for a young Italian defender called Alessio Romagnoli from Milan.
Yeah.
And just got rejected.
They spent a lot of money on him. Just I think it was just last season or the season before, wasn't it? So I think then they've just been taken over too, so they're probably in no sort of financial need to sell. And Conte's getting a bit desperate now, isn't he? He's raiding Serie A for just about any defender he can get his hands on.
They're looking
Johnny
for
Evans
a
at this
defender,
rate.
aren't they? I think it's because I mean, £30 million for Romagnoli, and they rejected. And we're talking about a club here that are in they were in financial debt until the Chinese owner investors came in.
The bid's just a month too late. That's probably all it is. If they'd have got it done sooner.
But
I think they were waiting so long on Koulibaly, and Napoli were trying to sign Maximovic from Torino, and it's that whole chain of events that you see with it's the domino effect of the transfer window. If one team can't get the player they want to replace the player that you want, it's not happening. So they've wasted so much time on Koulibaly that they're struggling there.
Yeah, and the thing is, Chelsea are looking for that defender because I think essentially Conte wants to play that formation that he knows so well and loves, the three at the back, and without that defender, because I don't think he trusts the defenders he's got at the moment.
I think it's got to be
No.
the right defender as well. It can't
That's
just
it.
be
Yeah, you're
anyone.
right. It has to be the right defender, and at the moment, I
Especially if you
think
want to
with
play three at the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean he's got Cahill, he's got Terry, but he hasn't got that other centre defender apart from Zuma, who's
Zuma's
injured,
probably
and
the best defender, but he's just injured, isn't he?
he's
Terry's
got
not
He
another
getting
did his
any
six
younger.
ACL.
weeks. Another
Yeah.
6 weeks, I think. So until he gets Zuma back, he can't play the formation he loves and knows. And I think he's really, like you said, he's getting desperate now. He's played it with
To be
Juventus. He's
fair,
played it.
yeah, I was just gonna say. To be fair, at the start of his Juventus reign, he did use a 4-2-4, and I think that's what he's been trying to do here. So whether he doesn't have confidence in that, or whether that's a long-term option for them, but I think either way, he'd want a new centre back.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're gonna have to get a wriggle on pretty soon.
yeah.
They're talking of going for James Rodriguez too, isn't it? Which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me at all.
I read
Must
that
admit,
and I didn't
doesn't
know if it
strike
was
me as a
just paper
Conte
gossip.
player.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
could be.
Very talented player though.
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
really need
massively
him.
gifted, but just a pretty terrible
But there's
attitude by
rumours
all
that he's
reports.
gonna try and offload Fabregas. That's what I heard.
I've
Yeah,
also read the same.
yeah.
So
Rumours that Jose was interested, wasn't there?
yeah, potentially.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd be
Well,
very surprised.
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, on that note, we'll move on to our final part of the show, which is Blast from the Past. Now, the way this works is we basically want to be able to create a starting 11 of all-time Premier League players who have that X factor. Rather than your conventional Alan Shearer's up front, your Tony Adams at centre back, your Peter Schmeichel's in goal, we want to go for players who were a bit different, outside the box kind of guys. Now we're calling it the Techers 11. Now, the way this is going to work is the three of us, myself, Keegan, and Frankie, are going to every week pick our selection for each position. And our guests, like Ryan and you guys on social media, are going to help us pick the best out of the three. So this week, we're going to go for goalkeepers. So each of us are going to say our player, and then we're going to plead our case for our player, and then we'll get the views from Ryan and the rest of social media to decide who gets to pick. Sorry, Frank, you were going to say something.
Yes, I was going to say, but Ryan is going to include in this week's pick as well. So
Yes.
it's going to be four goalkeepers that the viewers would have to choose from in a poll that would be on Twitter. Is that right?
Yep, correct.
Great. I can't wait. Who are we going to start off with?
Well, Frank, you can start off.
Did you hear the excitement on my voice? Is that what it was?
Yeah, you're like a kid in a candy shop.
Right. I'm going to go with the one, the only. I'm really building this up. Fabian Barthez. For me, he was a crazy goalkeeper. He was the goalkeeper that would come out of his box. He would pull off these fantastic saves, even though he was, I think, he was only 5'10".
Not even that, surely.
It was, yeah, he was probably shorter than that. I just found him really exciting. He was a bit of a nutter, and just different than all your other keepers that were playing for top clubs.
Let's not forget as well, he was actually quite a good keeper.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we were having this debate whether he won something whilst he was at Manchester United in terms of was he a World Cup winner? I don't think he was a World Cup winner, but I think he was a Euro. I think he won the Euros in 2000, I believe.
I think he signed in 2001, if I remember right. So
Really?
he came with both of those things already won.
So he
Didn't win
okay.
them. He had the disastrous World Cup 2002 as a
Yeah.
United player, if that helps.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm
And
not
he-
changing my mind, Ryan. If that's what you think I'm going to
No, I
It's
think
not
it's
gonna
a great
happen.
pick. I think it's a great pick.
do. Yeah, I liked him. I really, really did. There was something about Barthez that I really liked. So
It was the way he used to pull his shorts up, wasn't it? Is that Shadow's fire?
Yeah.
and that as well. And that as well.
I just like that he got to play outfield. There was that,
Yeah, that was I
The
didn't
original
know
sweeper
about that.
keeper.
no,
yeah,
it was a friendly match for United. It was pre-season.
Yeah.
And he really wanted to play outfield, so Fergie just let him for a half. I love
Right, can I
that.
just confirm as well, sorry, that Bartes, which is surprising to me, um, was 6 foot.
What?
What?
Didn't look it.
No, never.
Fabian Bartes was 6 foot. I I didn't see that coming.
It says a
On a
lot about the
recount.
size.
Is that a shock to all of you, or is it just me?
Yeah, huge shock.
Yeah.
Wow.
We shouldn't be that
Well, anyway,
surprised. You couldn't make it to that level of football as a professional goalie if you were 5'6" or something.
Yeah.
But still,
yeah,
six
true,
foot.
true. Yeah, I didn't have him 6 foot.
I guess Shea
Uh,
Given's, is he quite a short goalkeeper? Is he another one who's 6 foot and you don't realise it?
I think he's another one
Yeah.
that's misleading. I've literally
Yeah,
Googled Shea Given, the first thing that came up with height. So I think someone else asked the question as well.
okay, so how? Well, because I think me and Ryan, me and Lee already know the answer because we googled it. But How tall do you think Shea Given is? We'll start with Mike.
6'1".
Ryan.
I'll say he's 5'10", but he lies about his height and he's 6 foot. He wears those shoes that Tom Cruise wears, those status
Big rubber
shoes.
soles.
Yeah.
He's actually 6'1".
Wow.
Hooray.
Yeah, he's actually 6'1". Incredible. Anyway,
Next
well,
keeper.
Fabian. So to the viewers, Fabian Barthez is the first one up. Who's going second?
Yeah, I'll
Go
take it.
Keegan second.
My pick is Jussi Jääskeläinen.
Ooh.
Bit of a throwback to old school Bolton under Big Sam. He's had about 500 games in English football. 109 Premier League clean sheets as well, averaging 1 in 4, which is a great record, to be fair. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's just a nice throwback to when football was a simpler game.
I think
That's
on the
lovely,
quiet
Keegan.
as well, there was a period of probably about 5 years under Big Sam where he was, without really getting the recognition for it, one of the best 3 or 4 goalkeepers in the league, wasn't he, for quite a long time?
He's one of those keepers who, in fantasy football, he didn't get a clean sheet that often, but he always got the bonus points for saves.
Yeah.
Good old football manager, eh?
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Lee, what's your thoughts?
Right, I'm basically just going for an illustration of my goalkeeper and why I'm picking him. I'm gonna let pictures do the talking. But my pick is Shaka Hislop, who, as we learned earlier, is not just a footballer. He's also was he a mechanical engineer and
Yeah.
an intern
Mechanical
at NASA?
engineer.
So he's a bright spark as well. But I'm just going to tweet this photo. Being a Newcastle supporter, when Shaka Hislop arrived on the scene, I mean, the guy is a giant, but he also used to wear his goalie kit about 10 sizes too big, and it sort of looked like pajamas, which I thought was
And
highly
he sort of looked like he
entertaining.
was 5'8".
Yeah. No, he definitely looked like he was about 7 foot. But I'm just going to tweet this picture now so you guys can see what I mean. So just bear me 2 seconds while I do that. But yeah, I mean, he played for a couple of teams. He played for, I think we bought him from Reading, I think, originally. Then he went
West
to
Ham?
Newcastle, then went to West Ham. He actually got a cap for England for the B team. Do you remember when they used to have the England B team?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, he got a cap. He got a B team cap.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, I think they only played 1 game, but still. Hold on, Shaka Hislop.
What about you, Ryan? Who's your pick?
Okay, my guy is unequivocally the worst goalkeeper of the 4 that we're going to mention. There's no doubt about that. But what he lacks in actual goalkeeping ability, he makes up for tenfold in character and just general hilarity. And it's a bit of a topical one, or reasonably so anyway, because he was one of the stars of the Euros, and it's the pajama-bottomed man himself, Gabor Kiraly.
Oh, a hero.
Nice.
I've
Yeah.
totally forgotten about him.
Ledge, absolute ledge. He
It's
is
all
so
about the
out of
no-look
shape.
passes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No-look
he's
passes, balls
Sports
between
Direct
his legs.
joggers.
Yeah, no, absolute legend. Terrible goalkeeper, but yeah,
He's-
legend of a man.
He rocks up to game day looking
Very
like
good.
he's forgot his kit for PE.
Yeah.
He definitely comes with a carry bag, doesn't he? He has his boots and a carry bag.
I love it.
Banging them
That's
off
a
at the
great
boot.
pick.
Oh
He
god,
he
it's
looks
like
like
he always
someone.
forgot his shorts.
Yeah, but at the Euros, he literally looked like a whole squad of goalkeepers were injured, and they've called this guy up and said, "Look, mate, I know you're so and so's dad, but can you do us a favour and play for us in the Euros?" He had a belly on him. He was shocking, but yeah, great pick. I like it.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
was a good.
it's like when you're a kid and you're playing youth football and they get the dads to run the line.
Yeah.
If they've only got a ref, they've got no linesman, so they have to get one of the dads. Whoever's got a pair of trainers on, he goes and runs the
That's
line. I
it.
think that's the same policy with Gabba Corral. He had a pair of trainers, so that's what. Let's get him
Yeah,
in the
stick him
squad.
in net.
All right, who did you pick for taking the goalkeeper? Right, so I'm putting on Twitter now. So
Perfect.
Fabian Barthez, Shaka Hislop, Jussi Leskalainen, and Gabor Kiraly.
Perfect.
Done. And I've also
So
tweeted my
guys,
Shaka Hislop picture as well. So
yeah.
check out what Shaka Hislop was rocking back in the
So
90s.
viewers, again, tweet us, vote on at Tiki Taka Chat, and we've got a Facebook page, which is Tiki Taka Chatter. So please don't forget, subscribe and follow us, and start voting.
And we'll reveal the pick tomorrow, and then yeah. So next week we'll move on to, should we say left back or right back?
We'll go from left to right.
Okay, all right, fair enough. We'll go left to right.
We are playing a 4-4-2 formation, right?
I was just going to ask that. Have you decided your formation?
Yeah, we'll go
I
4-4-2. I don't
I
think.
think seeing as it's Tekka's 11, and it's blast from the past, everyone used to play a 4-4-2, so we might as well keep
4-4
it.
effing 2, as Mike Bassett would say.
Yeah. So
And,
yeah, 4-4-2.
yeah, cool. Well, guys, I
Brilliant.
think we're out of time. So I'd like to thank Ryan again for being a brilliant guest. And
Thank you, pleasure.
thank you very much for coming on the show. Always welcome back. And
Thank you. I'll make sure my microphone's working next time.
that's all right. No worries. No problem
It,
at
it,
all.
adds, it adds to the suspense, Ryan. Don't worry. I think we're looking forward to you coming on.
I hope I was worth the wait.
Of course
And
you were.
Ryan,
Of course you were.
if people wanted to follow you as well, what your Twitter is?
It's
do you want to shout it out?
it's at Ryan Baldi EFB, so it's RyanBaldi, and then it's EFB, which stands for Euro Football Blog, which was my first blog that I had when I started writing a while ago. So yeah, you can catch me there, or you can catch me at the Busby Babe. I look after that Twitter account as well for the SB Nation site that I manage with a couple of other guys.
Great.
Cool.
Wicked.
Well, thanks
All
for that,
right.
Ryan.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and we'll be back next week. So have a good week, and chat to you soon.
See you later, lads.
See you
Cheers all.
guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.